social media is your bread and butter. You guys are killing it on there. But do you guys ever wish that you didn't have to be on it so much?
It depends. I mean, as long as like with me and Ant, it's really fun and like has like revived my,
Okay.
the fun aspect of it. So I think as long as like we're working on something and trying to grow something, it's really fun. I kind of I don't know, I just got overwhelmed with it, I think, a little bit.
Sure.
Just doing it all myself and, like run my whole Instagram and stuff. So
I think also when you don't
Yeah.
have like a person to talk to that's kind of going through a similar thing too, like like I don't know, it's running that account and stuff,
Yeah.
like just dealing with all that. And then
yeah.
I don't know. I think it's fun. We also don't, correct me if I'm wrong, Dan, but like we don't let it consume our lives. We just let it like it is a part of our lives, but it doesn't like consume our time, like all of it.
Yeah. I mean, in many ways, it's, at least my personal account, it's like important in like, in a career aspect of being relevant. But it felt a little overwhelming for sure. In the idea of like, this is consuming all of my time. But Four Bad Eyes is like a big part of our lives. But it's not like, hasn't become, a full on machine that needs to be fed. You know what I mean? There's not like people we have to answer to or anything like that. So it's all fun at this point.
Yeah, I think that's the key, is to have no one telling you what to make or what to say. Mm-hmm. Then I think it really would get, just kind of lame, I think.
I also think social media is like, it's great. And like with anything that's great, it has awful things too. Like there's shitty parts of it too, but like the fact that you can just connect with someone from across the world like that, and like they can find you and then reach out, and then they change your life and like you change their life, like things like that can just happen, and the positivity that can be spread is like really cool.
Yeah. I've met so many cool people through that. Just simple DMs.
Yeah, I think that's the beauty of social media, is just a meeting people aspect. Like, I met both you dudes on there, and all the other people I've interviewed, and it's just I was surprised at that when I started this podcast. I didn't expect to like actually make real friends in real life, doing it. It's cool.
Right. Yeah, it's slowly becoming. I mean, it is for all the kids. That's how a lot of them communicate and everything nowadays, and it's just a part of our social culture now.
Yeah. I guess sometimes like what I get stressed out about, maybe you guys don't, but I guess I'd like to pick your brain on it, is like being conscious of what you're putting out there, in terms of what you're saying on the podcast. Or am I going to say something that's going to turn off, a large amount of my audience? I don't know. Do you guys try to like not let those thoughts affect you, or do you try to be pretty conscious of like who your audience is?
We're always cautious of what we say, because you just have to be nowadays. But
I think I used to like stress too hard about it though in the beginning of it. Like I used to I would get a little stressed and like it would show, and then Dan kind of helped me, because Dan was kind of the opposite too, of like, say whatever, like not necessarily not in a hurtful or bad way towards anyone or anything, but like be more free. And then that kind of helped us find a medium, and then like help me care less but still have structure to it, like still, you never want to offend anyone, but
we're very careful on our social media pages. Podcasts, I've always had the thought that it's a little bit more loose,
I feel more free. Like it's almost like a freer platform to be able to talk.
Yeah, podcasting, that's what I like about, all my favorite podcasts are pretty out there, and there's really no limitations on what my favorite podcasters talk about. And I think that's why people listen is like, you want to hear like an unfiltered conversation.
Yeah. Like
you can actually get to really know somebody by listening to them and their personality and stuff.
Exactly.
Yeah, like our episode we just dropped was called "Let's Talk About Sex, Baby," and it's like all about like sex for the first time and different things like that. And it's like we wouldn't really like post about that on our pages necessarily. Like we're not gonna make videos about that, but like we could talk about that on our podcast, which is cool.
Yeah. So what you're saying is you have like you're kind of using For Bad Eyes. It's like it's an additional creative outlet, on top of what you're doing, on your own personal channels. Yeah.
You're definitely getting more from For Bad Eyes than you are just from a post or a video, I would think. I would,
Sure, yeah.
You're getting me and Dan like pretty raw.
Yeah.
A lot of it's unscripted. Like none of it's scripted, but like a lot of it we don't even have topics. It just goes right into it and it naturally flows.
Yeah. Yeah, that's fun. That's always the funnest for me is when like it's just riffing, and bouncing off of each other and things like that.
And I've got to learn a lot about Anthony too. It's cool. Like we like, we started it. We met in June, then we started the podcast in December.
Yeah.
And I don't think we met up again before that, right?
No, we had 10 episodes recorded in the bank when we first started our podcast.
Yeah. But you just flew or drove. Did you drive again?
You
came to Michigan.
Yeah,
again,
we drove again, yeah.
And we started like all the pages and all the podcasts. So we just started recording and like it's really just like it still is us just getting to know each other in a lot of ways too, which is cool.
Yeah, it's really cool actually because I've learned so much about Dan.
Cool. Yeah, it's fascinating because you're learning in real time, and I feel the same way about the See Through podcast. Is if you go back and listen to like episode 1, and now if you actually follow this journey, I feel like most people probably really know who I am, and that's kind of cool with you two because you both get to learn about each other, while other people learn about you. It's unique.
And we get to dig at each other's topics too, like, well, why did you feel that way? And like, it actually makes us think, which is cool.
Oh yeah.